Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Sammy. I'm the owner of Strength by Sammy, which is a women's health coaching company and a registered dietitian. Today's episode is going to be all about owning a small business, the ins and outs, all the hats that I wear, the struggles I face, but also the pros of owning a small business. I'm going to dive right into this episode. So to start things out, I kind of want to give a little bit of history with Strength by Sammy, how I started it, how long I've been in business, how I've progressed my business, etc. So I actually started my Strength by Sammy business when I was in my Master's of Public Health at the University of Miami in Florida. And I was in the back of class. I just became a personal trainer and I started designing what I'm going to do to be an online trainer. That's kind of my goal. I'll do online training part-time while I'm in school. I was in the process of finishing up my Master's of Public Health with the intention of applying to medical school. So I kind of started daydreaming in class, we'll call it, and I would make logos. I started making programs and I would give them to my friends and have them try it, and really just kind of eased into things and then started with online training. Now this was 2019, about to go into spring of 2020 when COVID happened. And obviously COVID was an absolutely horrible thing, but I am very grateful for the experiences I got during this time frame, because I wouldn't be where I am today had COVID not happened. So due to the close down, I ended up moving back to Massachusetts because my school went completely online. I ended up starting my online business and kind of working with people doing home workouts, PDF files, very basic. This is the very infancy of Strength by Sammy. From there, when gyms opened up, I started at a commercial gym and then I did my own business on the side where I couldn't really have them both together. I was working for a big chain gym, typical, just kind of easing into being a trainer, but then also still training Strength by Sammy clients on the side, online only. Now, this didn't last too long because I did not like the way a big gym facility ran personal training. They overcharged through the roof. They underpaid their trainers. I was making $7 a session. Minimum wage in Massachusetts, I think, is $15 right now. But the way they got away with this is they would give workouts about 25 minutes. 25 minutes I had with a client. And clients were paying hundreds of dollars a month, but I was getting paid $7. And then I'm getting paid so low that I just couldn't offer better quality services to these people because there were just no resources for them. So I hated the way the commercial gyms, and not all commercial gyms are like this. I went to a big chain commercial gym. I would never work at one again. However, it taught me a lot and it allowed me to take my skills and continue on my journey. So from there, I left the commercial gym and I went to a small local gym near me. And I said, look, I want to be a personal trainer. What do you guys have to offer me? So I was allowed to kind of do my own branding as Strength by Sammy as a separate vendor at this facility. So I pretty much just gave a commission base on what I made as Strength by Sammy, promoted my own business, but used their facility. So a partnership, which was awesome. However, only one of my 30 clients from the commercial gym followed me. So I started with no clients other than the few online clients I had, and then one client from the commercial gym that followed me. So I was really starting again from nothing. This is my third time really starting my business, and I'm starting again from nothing. So I had to build that up, talking to people in the gym, explaining I was a personal trainer, and slowly I started to get more consultations. People started working with me. People saw me training, and it kind of just grew from there. So I stayed at this gym, I think for about a year and a half, maybe. Yeah, I think about a year and a half. However, I saw that there was a need for a private training facility because women still were not comfortable in the weight section. They wouldn't want to train in the weight section. The gym itself was not bad, but definitely crowded. So I had to fight for equipment. A lot of people would try to talk to me while I was training clients. So it was very distracting for me. That is what led me to kind of create Strength by Sammy. And I've already done a tour, so you guys kind of know what my facility is all about. So that is the birth of Strength by Sammy. I am always looking to expand. I do have some stuff in the works about possibly adding a second location, but I'm not going to give details because nothing is finalized yet. That also being said, in addition to having in-person training, I also offer online training. So I offer custom online coaching. I also coach people to compete. So I have a few clients that compete in the WBFF as I do. And I also have just general online programs, which I'm actually in the process of like revamping and making them more structured. I generally offered like a Train with Sammy, just online coaching. I'm going to be offering a glute building program because that is what I'm all about. I love building glutes. A strength program, which is going to be focused about building muscle, and then a fat loss program for someone who's more looking to kind of diet down, lean out. So that's kind of the whole realm of Strength by Sammy. Now, why did I become a dietitian? So as I got more and more into the personal training side of things, I wanted to give more nutrition advice, and nutrition's always been my passion. I don't want to say eaten weirdly, but I've always had different eating habits than anyone else. I don't eat fast food. I don't drink soda. And these were habits I actually developed as a child. I just didn't like them. I always liked vegetables a lot. Like I would snack on like iceberg lettuce. My mom thought it was the oddest thing, but I loved it. So I just have always been different. I went vegetarian at like 8 years old and went vegetarian from 8 to like 21 or 19 maybe. And then I became vegan for 2 years, up until I was about 23. And then I ended up including lean meats back into my diet. That's a whole other episode I can talk about if you guys are interested. So I've always just been interested in food. And the more I learned about giving meal plans and meal advice, I realized I need to be credentialed to do so. There are a lot of people on the internet who are not qualified, not educated, but yet giving out meal plans. This is actually illegal, if you didn't know that, in a lot of states. And it's just not right to do. However, unfortunately, the fitness industry is really flooded with a lot of fraud. So when you're picking someone to work with, make sure they have the credentials to back up the education they are telling you. Obviously, some people just learn on their own, which is great, but they still should hold some kind of general certification. That being said, I ended up leaving my MPH and starting a master's of food science and nutrition, I think is my master's, to become a registered dietitian. So I had to go to an accredited program so that I could sit for the RD exam, get my internship hours, etc. And that's what I've been doing for the past 3 years. Now that I'm a registered dietitian, like I said earlier, I can expand my services. So in addition to making online programs, training in person, and now I can offer nutrition counseling. So this will be like 30-minute to 1 hour sessions, really diving into food, educating people, because I can give you a meal plan, but that's only going to last you so long. It doesn't educate you on what you're eating, because I want you to be able to make your own food choices and understand why you are making them, why you're building a meal the way you are, because if you understand it, you're more likely to stick with it. Okay, so that is an overview of my business as a whole. That being said, I wear many hats when it comes to owning a small business. So obviously, I'm the founder. So all of the services I created, I run myself, I've designed myself, I've tweaked myself. In addition to that, I also kind of put together my whole facility. So like I had to do all the painting here, I had to put all the equipment together, I had to get everything going and up and running. In addition to that, I also am running all of my social media accounts. So I did in the past have someone who helped me run social media. However, I kind of cut that back as an expense because it was something that as a small business owner, you have to kind of figure out where can I spend money and where can I not? Where do I need to pull back? So I actually had to run all my own social media accounts. So I do all my own editing. I do all of my own, which is probably obvious because it's not professional, but I do the best I can. So I do all of that. I make all of my own captions. I make all of my own photos. Obviously, I do photo shoots, but I use them to make my own graphics, etc. So all of that is run by me. Obviously, this video right now is me creating content. So in addition to the social media accounts, running the business itself and like creating and running the services, I also design all of my own shirts. So this is new. I mean, I've always designed my own shirts, but I actually design them and create them myself. Like I make them. I bought a Cricut. And so, yeah, so I make all these myself. That's something else I added to my plate because it wasn't full enough, which I love. Like I love creating. I love designing. That's a really fun part of my job. I did all of my own website design myself. I actually just revamped it up. So check that out. I do a lot of that side of things. I do all my own marketing. I wear many hats. I'm the only person that works for Strength by Sammy other than like my accountant who helps with the financial stuff. But Anything you see that is promoted or created or offered by Strength by Sammy is something that at some point I created, ran, established, and had done. Now, some other stuff you don't see that are more like the behind the scenes of running a small business. I keep track of all my payments. I keep track of all my client sessions. So I use my app that I use to keep track of sessions because people can buy packages right through there. But I still have to keep track and see how many sessions are going on. I do all my own scheduling. I don't do any automatic scheduling. I do all of my consultations. I reach out to all potential clients. I'm responding to all my DMs, my emails, my comments. All of that is done by me as well. Now, some more behind the scenes stuff you wouldn't think about is cleaning. Like I clean my own facility. I could hire a cleaner to come in, but again, like I was saying earlier, and I'll talk a little bit about expenses and budgeting and finance when it comes to owning a small business, but I do all of my own cleaning. Obviously, I clean after every session, but I'm talking like wiping mirrors down, doing laundry for my towels, mopping the floor, vacuuming the floor, dusting my windows, etc. Because you want to have a good presentable business. So you have to put in what you expect to get out. So I do all of my own cleaning myself. When I come in, I'm opening up. So I'm turning all the lights on, I'm turning the AC on, I'm getting the studio ready for training with clients. So everything kind of set up and ready to go. I'm doing that. And at the end of the night, I'm closing up, I'm locking up because again, I am the owner. So I am the one responsible for that. So I'm going to go through my day-to-day to kind of give a better idea of what else I do because I'm sure I'm missing something. As you see now, I wear many hats and it's a very busy day and I have to keep a very tight schedule. So Google Calendars saved my life. I put everything in there to a T. Like I put my workouts in there. I'll put my meal prep in there. I'll put any errands I need to run in there because that is how tight my schedule is. I have to schedule it in. So that being said, I start my day training my morning clients and I've done a couple like what I do in a day. So you've probably seen that. So I train my morning clients. I try to do a morning block from 6 a.m. to about 10 to 11 a.m. So I'm here for a good chunk of time. After that, I try to fit in consultations if I didn't have any morning consultations. So these are potential new clients. I do offer free consultations. You can just sign up right through my website. So yeah, I just kind of talk. We go through like what they're looking for, if I'm a good fit. And after the consultation, we kind of get them scheduled and ready to go. Now, the next part of my day is very variable. Like if I have a doctor's appointment, it changes, or if I have another type of appointment, it changes, or I have some errands to do, it changes. If I have no errands to do, I usually go home and I work on either marketing, I work on content creation, I will work on studying because I obviously have to do like recertification every couple years for my personal training and then every 5 years for my RD license. So I'm always educating, I'm always reading so that I'm giving my clients the best quality and the newest stuff going out there because things are always changing in the fitness industry. We weren't doing the same thing 5 years ago that we were doing 10 years ago. So it's really important to stay up to date on education. So using today as an example, after I finish up with my consultation, I am going to head home and I'm going to be working on two things. One thing I have really big coming out is that online programming I was telling you about. So I'm going to be creating those. They're going to be 12-week programs and they're going to be offered directly through my website. And option number two is working on my nutrition counseling. So right now I'm testing out an app to be working with new dietary clients. And this one is really seeming cool. I'm hoping that it works. But anything I have to use with clients, I need to test myself. So that's part of my job as well. Is this good quality? Am I giving a good service? Do I think clients will want to use this? Maybe have a few friends or family members try it out first to see how things go. So that's going to be a big chunk of my time. Luckily, today is a rest day because typically I also have to fit my workout in. And right now, because I am in prep, I have a lift and a cardio session. So my workouts are very long, but I will be going on plenty of walks because I do have to hit 12,000 steps per day. Sometimes during the day, I also will do programming. So for example, I have a consultation today. If that client wants to start this week with me, I usually give a 1 to 2 day grace period to let me work on their program because I can't just train them then and there. I have to get them registered through my app. I have to get their profile going and I have to get their workout started. So that being said, I might have to go home and do some programming. That's always going to kind of trump everything else because if I'm going to train with this person in 1 to 2 days, I need to make sure I get their program ready to go by the time their first session starts. So as you can see, it can kind of be a plethora of things throughout the day. Now, what I recommend is keeping some type of like post-it note schedule. Yes, I use my Google Calendars, but I also have a like hard copy of a weekly calendar and like, this is the stuff I need to get done this week. So like small goals, I might want to get one online program done, test out the app for nutrition, and then get ahead on programming. Every week I do have programs I have to work on because client schedules rotate. So I'm always programming every week. A minimum, I would say probably a minimum of 5 clients, but like last week was like 12 clients. So I'm always just kind of programming throughout the week whenever I can fit some time in. So now this seems like a lot of work. I'm probably overwhelming you if you are thinking about starting a new business. And I'm not going to lie, I work way more than the average 40-hour week. I definitely don't pay myself probably more than a 20-hour week. But it is my passion and I love what I do. So I'm going to start off with the pros of owning your own business because I like to start with the positive. I'll get into the cons of owning your own business, some barriers I face, and then some tips for anyone starting out trying to like figure out what they want to do if owning a business is right for them. So pros. Obviously, I make my own schedule, which is great. Now, in the industry I'm in, I'm a personal trainer. I work around other people's schedules. So while, yes, it seems awesome that I get to make my own schedule, my schedule is around the typical work week. So that's why I have those morning block clients and those evening block clients, because I am working around their work schedule. So they are not going to come to me at 2 in the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon. They're going to be at work. So it's really difficult to have like a typical 7 to 3 schedule or 9 to 5. I have a 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and then a 3 to 4 p.m. to about 7 to 8 p.m. That's my time block. So unfortunately, yesterday just got the best of me, and that's part of owning my own business. As much as I love filming content and definitely my YouTube videos, it's difficult for me to shoot all of that content in one day. So going right back into the pros of owning my own business. So yes, like I said, I make my own schedule. Another pro is like if I need time off, then obviously I can just take the time off. Like I'm the one who creates my schedule, and therefore it's really easy for me to like work around my schedule. That being said, a negative of that is like there's no paid time off. Now, this also depends on the degree of your business. Like if I was a bigger, more established business, I might have employees working under me, so I do have more passive income, and therefore I could pay myself some time off. Now, I only get paid when I work. That's just how my current business works. I don't have anyone working under me. I don't have anyone training for me. So therefore, if I want to make money, I need to be in person training. I do online training as well. So therefore, I do take a lot of work with me when I am on vacation, or if I am trying to like just have a weekend off. I tend to never really have a full weekend off. And again, back to the pros. I feel like I'm just counteracting all of my pros. But it's a very rewarding job. Like what I do is probably the most rewarding thing I've ever done. And I've had a plethora of different jobs in my lifetime. I have more of a healthcare background. So a big thing for me with my business is seeing a direct outcome with my clients. So working in healthcare, I feel like you work with someone in the hospital, you leave them, you have no idea what happens. I get to follow up with all of my clients. I get to see my impact on their lifestyle and their habits immediately usually, or not immediately, but over a period of time. Like I see their blood work improve. I see them lose weight if that's their goal. I see them get stronger. I see their confidence build. And that is so rewarding. Another thing that's awesome about owning my own business, when there is something that is problematic or I think there's a way it could be done better, I'm in charge of making that change. Working in healthcare, if there's a way to make something better, it takes years and a lot of people to make a change in a hospital setting. So being able to make that change immediately or kind of slowly transition at my own pace is awesome. I also get to choose the direction my business goes. So as I started out with just online coaching, I was able to add in-person training because that's something I wanted to do. I was able to add a lot of my merch and my own logo, and I was able to add now nutrition services. So I get to go with the direction I want my business to go. If I want to expand, I can. If I don't want to expand, I don't have to. So you're in charge of everything you're doing, which is awesome. Now let's get a little bit more into, I don't want to say the cons, but the barriers you may face owning your own business. As I said before, I'm in training. So specifically, I work around other people's schedules. That might not be the most ideal schedule for me. Therefore, I kind of have to work around that. Another thing is putting out a lot of money. So to open a business, you have to have money, whether you take out a business loan, whether you pull from your savings. Obviously, an online business is less of a financial investment. Something like this in person is definitely going to take a lot more time and a lot more financial support that you're going to require. If I want to expand, that's like something that might hold you back is the finances. Like if I want a bigger facility, I have to look at, is this something, can I afford this? Will I have the revenue coming in to support this? Will it be okay if I have all these different loans? Is it something I can pay off? So you do have to look at like the financial burden or responsibility, not burden, because I love what I do. It's not a burden. Is it something you can afford? I would also say learning everything the hard way. So a lot of the reason I do the things the way I do them now is because I learned that something else didn't work. Like I used to do PDF files for my clients when I would give them workouts. However, this caused a lot of confusion with like what exercises they should be doing, and it just wasn't the best for tracking workouts. Now I use an app-based technology. So like I learned from something that didn't really work to something that really works well, and my clients absolutely love the way my app is set up now. Then you have to go through the process of making everything like legitimate. So you have to get like a business license. You have to register your business. You have to determine if you want to do a sole proprietor, if you want to be an S Corp or a corporation, if you want to be an LLC. That's when working with an accountant might be best, or someone that's like a financial advisor might be able to help you as well. So registering your business to make sure that your business is legit. You can't just sit at home and just keep all this money to yourself, because if you get audited, you will definitely be screwed. Like that's not something you want to do either. You want to set yourself up for success, and I want to set myself up for expansion. So I need to be doing everything the right way from the beginning. Another barrier, again, is that work-life balance. When I work here for, I don't know, I trained 10 clients or 11 clients yesterday. When I went home, I was still working. I never really shut off my brain, and that might be a personal struggle, but from working with a lot of people who own their own businesses, it seems like we all have that struggle. You'll go to bed thinking, I could be working on this, I could be working on this, I could be working on that. You're always looking at how can I improve. You're never really shutting your brain off, which is good. It's a driver for motivation. However, it definitely can be a struggle. Most people do their job, they get home, work's at work. When I get home, I work from home a lot. So it's not work is work, home is work as well for me, or vacation can be work as well for me. And then I would say a difficult thing too is determining your budget. It depends, like if you've had like a life savings to establish into your business, or if it's just like, you know what, I'm going to follow my gut, I'm going to follow my passion. You might need to justify every single one of your expenses, which is, I'm kind of an in between the two. I'm not going to get into too many details of my own finances, but you need to look at like, when you're purchasing a new item, is it something you can afford? If you're using a new software or new technology, is that monthly payment something you can afford? And yes, I think I'll go into like write-offs, because a lot of people are like, well, everything's a write-off when you're a business owner. It's like, yes, but that money is not free money. So for example, I could get a car for my business if it involved like travel. But like, do I still need $45,000 or $30,000? Yes, I'm just pulling it from my business account versus your personal account. Like you are still paying for things when it's a business write-off. Now, does it help with taxes? Yes. Am I an accountant? No. So I don't really know the whole details of how write-offs work, but it's not like a magic money that just like comes out of nowhere. You have to have the finances to support those write-offs that you're doing. And last, like, little con, I'll say, because I don't really want to be too negative. I don't want this video to be overwhelming as for those of you looking to start a new business, but more eye-opening as to what goes into it. I think social media shows that you can work from home, you can own a business, you can do all these things, but then you can be sipping cocktails on the beach while you're like making all this passive income. From my experience and from many of the people I know who own businesses, that is not the case. If you want to get to that point, you have to put hours and hours and hours of free labor. I mean, it's free, but you're working towards your own business. You have to really dedicate yourself. You have to make a lot of sacrifices, whether they're financial, whether it's social, whether you're working a 7-day work week. There's a lot that goes into owning a business. And I think, unfortunately, with like Instagram and TikTok, and people make it seem like this glamorous thing. And don't get me wrong, like I love what I do. I love promoting my own business, and like everything I do is towards my business and promotes my cause. However, it is not a walk in the park, and it's not like easy money either. Part of this video is I just want to share some tips if you're looking to start your own business, or if you're in the process of starting your own business. Tip number one is make sure you are passionate about what you do. For example, like I said, when I first started out, I did hours and hours of free content creation, website design, marketing, brand design, figuring out what apps I wanted to use, figuring out software. Like, I don't get paid for all of that. So you need to be very passionate about what you're doing because you're going to work a lot of hours for free. Another tip I recommend is make sure you're unique. There's a million companies. There's a million personal trainers. Like, I know a ton of personal trainers. Obviously, I don't want to like brag, but I'm good at what I do. My clients feel very personable with me. I provide a very good service. I have very good retention. And I'm unique. I'm very into the holistic approach because it's not just diet and exercise. I'm not going to just kick your ass if you come see me. I'm going to give you a program and we're going to work on changing your lifestyle habits for the long run. Make sure what you do is unique because that is what's going to stand out. If you want to open a clothing line, well, why is your clothing line better than the other 20 million clothing lines that are established and probably cheaper than yours? So you need to be able to justify your business. And last little tidbit of advice is do not give up. I definitely went through phases where I thought my business was going to fail. I thought that I wouldn't be pulling enough revenue. And there are times where you might not be able to pay yourself a paycheck. And there might be times that it is hard and it is tight and revenue's not great, but you need to stay passionate. You need to stay motivated and you need to keep trying because the second you give up, you don't know. That could have been that one time that your business exploded and then you were successful. So just keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Even being established now for about 4 years, I still have like doubts here and there. I am completely client-based. I don't have another source of revenue. So it can be scary. It definitely is a very big jump, especially if you're leaving your full-time job, which is probably the most challenging thing you will do. You can do it in a slow transition, but owning a business really does take up that much of your time. You might need to dive headfirst, and this is different for everybody and depends on the type of job you are going into. Probably from my other videos and maybe from this video, I don't know how positive I seemed, but I would not change what I do for the world. I would not change anything I have done with my business. I would not change my path at all, even though it was kind of like more zigzaggy than I would like it to be. I love what I do. I love owning my own business. Yes, it's a lot of work. Am I a millionaire? No, but I care way more about what I'm doing and being passionate about what I'm putting out into the world and my mission as Strength by Sammy and as the owner than I could be in any other occupation. I would never push myself to the degree that I do unless owning my own business. And I'll be honest with that. So I hope you learned something about owning a small business. Maybe you saw, wow, like it is a lot more work than I thought. Maybe it's less work than you thought. Maybe this gives you a little bit of a path of what direction you need to go with opening your business. I hope you found this helpful. If you have questions, please put them in the comment section or feel free to message me directly. You can also email me if you want like a more formal conversation. I'm fine with that as well. I'm all about helping other people because I really didn't have a lot of help as far as like what should I be doing. I had a lot of trial and error, and if I could help someone else make it an easier path, I always will. All right, that's all for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe and like and share with your friends. Have a great rest of your week.